everyone. So today I want to talk to you about an app that I'm pretty sure most of us use on the daily, known as TikTok. Whether you use it just to pass time or to learn something new, TikTok has definitely become a big platform over the years, and it has thousands, no, millions of users actually that use TikTok almost daily. And every day we scroll on TikTok and, we're consuming this information that's presented to us. We see something so crazy, we share it to our friends, go on about our day. We don't really stop to think too much about it. But the real question is, how much of the information that we're receiving is really true? Today, I want to focus on how easily misinformation spreads on TikTok and how it's almost similar to the way old urban legends used to spread back in the day. So, these false stories and rumors can shape the way that we think, the way that we feel about certain things, the way that we act about certain situations. And, whether we like to admit it or not, I feel that we have all definitely fallen a victim to these false stories at least once or twice in our lifetimes. Um, but you may be thinking, how does a 15 or 30-second video have such a strong impact on people? And the reason being that regardless of how long the video is or, what the content, if it's true or false, TikTok spreads information like wildfire. The second it's posted, it's available to everybody. Anybody in the world can see it. And the more interactions it gets, the more shares it gets, the more people replying to it gets, everybody's going to end up seeing the video eventually at least once. And this kind of reminds me of the way that those old chain messages used to be when people would send messages and it would be something along the lines of, hey, if you're receiving this message, you have to send it to X amount of people in X amount of time, or you'll have 10 years of bad luck. Which is honestly, receiving that for the first time, I am not going to lie, it was very scary and kind of alarming because what if, is this true? Is this true? But that was my first question. Is this true? But now that I think about it, every time I'm on TikTok and I see a crazy video, I don't stop to think, oh my goodness, is this true? I just believe it. And um those messages were so easy to spread because people were scared and they were curious if, it was true. And TikTok works in a similar way, but just on such a bigger platform because like I said earlier, it has millions of users. And not only that, a 2024 Pew Research study found that more than half of TikTok users get their news directly from TikTok. So they're not using any other sort of news outlet like, the daily news in the morning or, newspapers or none of that. They get their news directly from TikTok, which is why it's so alarming that people post so much information because people are so easy to believe it and, not question it because they get their news directly from there. And oftentimes, I want to say that some of these creators don't really have um like bad intentions when they're creating these videos. They want to make people aware or they want to bring awareness to a certain product or to certain things. And I can't speak for all creators, but I know that some creators do have bad intentions, and you can kind of tell with the tactics that they use. So when people want you to believe something, they tap into your feelings, like your emotions. And it's kind of the same way that old urban legends used to work too, or like campfire stories. When they tell you campfire stories, they're telling you something that will scare you and like kind of evoke that sense of fear in you because they want you to remember it. And that's kind of like a tactic that a lot of these videos are using. Like when they say, oh, like don't walk alone at night or don't pick up a stranger on the side of the road, da 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 da. They're telling you that because they want it to be believable and personal and they want you to remember that in the future. And you trust them without like thinking twice about it. And according to Christina Lerman, a senior scientist at USC's Information Science Institute, content tends to spread more rapidly when it appeals to your emotions, especially fear or anger. So if you were to see a video that makes you, something about it is just making you upset and you spread it to your friends or you spread it to your family or you post it on your story, that's just a way for more people to have access to that and a way for it to spread so much faster. And this is regardless of whether the information is true or not. It's just so easy for TikTok information to get out there and get out there fast. And misinformation thrives on when people react to it. So, for example, I remember there was a point in time when it was viral to eat an orange in the shower. That was a very interesting one. And TikTok creators claim that it had a lot of health benefits. There was like a long list. Like I think one of them was like it calms your anxiety and all of this and all of that. And a lot of people participated in the trend, and they posted their own experience videos claiming that, oh yeah, it works, it's true. But I kind of think in a way that's a placebo effect because they were told to believe, well, if you eat an orange in a shower, this is what will happen, or this is like the list of things that it will do for you. So when people actually do that and they tell their experiences, they're just basing it off of what's supposed to happen and not what they actually experience in a way. And then there was an example when people were claiming that hand sanitizer could kill you and cause cancer. That was also a very interesting one, which has proven both of these have been proven to be not true by scientific research. But there has been research studies that, if you use hand sanitizer every day, all day, that, it can have some health risks. But saying that it's going to cause cancer and cause death is just really extreme and taking that information to way out of proportion and way out of context. But the good thing is that we can fight back against misinformation. And the key to that is to be aware and question what we see and have really good digital literacy. And digital literacy means, or it's kind of like a skill to have where you analyze things critically and you think before believing something. So, kind of think of it as when detectives are doing a crime scene and they're trying to find evidence and clues before they, can actually tell what happened. You need to do that when you see a video that's so shocking and like it provides you information that you've never heard before, or something new to you, or something that just like it scares you a little bit. You need to really think and do your own research and see, is this true before I believe it and before I share it to others. And there's been research that have proven that certain media literacy programs have definitely worked and have reduced people's risk to believing false information. So when we learn how to question things that we see online, we're protecting ourselves and we're protecting others from all of this misinformation. And TikTok rumors kind of live on just the way old urban legends did, and kind of shaping what we think and the opinions that we have, unless we really take a second to think about the truth and question these videos. So the next time you see a TikTok video that that is claiming something that's so crazy or wild or something that you've never heard about, stop and think, is this true? And is this information that I'm receiving real? Or is it just another TikTok urban legend? Thank you for being here with me today. Bye bye.